Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. We're just going to go over a couple questions to set the grounds either for clearing these up or for discussing them with Trollface on the video. I think this is on this is Chillin' Proper with Mr. Cropper on Rucka Reacts channel. This is my talk with Rucka on Rucka's channel. These comments aren't on my channel. Trollface says, now the main stuff we're going to go over is below, but this will help us get to it. He says, I saw this video yesterday when Cropper posted it. Mr. Cropper's fundamental error is the mind-body dichotomy. He flies into this false dichotomy hook, line, and sinker. The epistemological error then snowballs into other areas of his thinking, most notably his approval of the initiation of force on American citizens through tariffs. No, I think if we're going to have voluntary representative taxation, which is a facsimile of voluntary taxation, if we're going to have representative taxation, foreign tariffs are really, really a good way to do it, which is why the Founding Fathers did it that way. That's my stance on that. So, if that's not an example of my mind-body dichotomy, then what is, Trollface? Is there another example? Alright, he says, not as important, but equally telling of his corrupted epistemological foundation, strong words, Trollface, is his inability to define concepts properly. His sloppy definition of what is left and right is most telling. Now, my definition of the left is groupthink people, the people who say, believe what I believe or else. And the right is everybody else. And everybody else normally goes about their business. And everybody else is a huge, huge group. And they get together sometimes. The left even eats itself. The left is a very small group. The left is the people who are willing to believe X. And the right is everybody else. Okay? And the left just wants the people who believe X to grow and grow and grow, and everybody else to die. That's my definition of the left and the right. So, is it sloppy, or is it a fundamental definition? A very fundamental definition, right? It encompasses the whole discussion. Okay, I talked about this on my stream on Twitch last Thursday for about an hour. So, now I've watched a lot of his Twitch streams. I'll have to go look up that one and see more what he says about that. But I leave that to the fair-mindedness of the audience. That's my definition of the left and the right. Today, under Trump in the United States today. If I went to New Zealand, I don't know how I would define it. Probably pretty much the same. I see that as the phenomenon in the 1940s. I see it as the phenomenon today in China. I see it as the phenomenon in Russia, in Soviet Russia for 70 years. I see that definition that I just gave as the essential definition. Brian leaves a comment to Trollface. He says, I'd like to see your talk about it. I see him as being a few degrees closer to reality because of his pragmatism. Now, that's what you call it, pragmatism, but I don't call it pragmatism. I've never said that. I've said I'm an objectivist who's talking about reality. Like when you say people's political beliefs, I say, which people? Show me the people. That's not pragmatism. You know, when you say everybody dislikes the Founding Fathers, I say, no, you know, some people like the Founding Fathers. Which people dislike the Founding Fathers? Let's talk about it. And you say, oh, well, those people don't really fundamentally believe in the Founding Fathers. They just believe in it through tradition. And tradition is just pragmatism. You can't defend things on tradition. But my question comes back at you. I still am asking you, today, when we vote today, or when somebody picks up guns and starts running concentration camps today, who are you going to side with? Get real. Get real. Are the leftists your friends? I mean, come on. Who's on your side? People who believe in freedom of speech, freedom of religion. You can go to any church you want. They're not going to say anything against you. And you say, well, they don't actually believe in freedom of speech because, right? Okay, look at the reality on the ground today. Now, that may change in 5 or 10 years, But as an objectivist, you're not going to change. As an objectivist, I'm not going to change. 5 or 10 years from now, I'm still going to be fundamentally in favor of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion. But 5 years from now, who knows who's going to be defending what? Right? What can we say the left was defending when? I can't find anything good the left's ever done. They are such bad people. Now, the right occasionally does bad things, but the right is nobody. The right is just everybody. The right is nothing. The right is an amorphous mass. The right doesn't really exist. It's everybody. You say the right is white supremacist? There's a lot of black people and a lot of Mexicans and a lot of Chinese and a lot of Koreans on the right. So you lose. You lose. You don't get to say that the right is white supremacist. That's stupid. That's just a left garbage. Everybody's on the right. The right's religious. No. It's lots of atheists on the right. Lots of people who don't give a shit about religion are on the right. So you can't say it's religious and you can't say it's atheist because there's a lot of Christians on the right. It is a big tent. So, all right. Now maybe we should get back to some of the... All right. He says... So that was... What was I just going off on? Pragmatism there? His view is that... Now quoting Brian again. His view, meaning Mr. Cropper's view, is that we can achieve bigger wins if we settle for speaking the common language of the people within the right-wing big tent. That's, you know, I don't know. That would mean that I'm saying that I'm endorsing a politician. That kind of means that I'm endorsing a politician or a political party or something like that. And I'm not really. I'm just saying that Trump has turned out to be a pleasant surprise and we should be grateful. You know, so I'm not a Republican, and you guys are going to be upset in 1 or 2 years when the Republicans are doing something else and I'm making fun of it because I'm not in favor of being a Republican. I'm not on the right. I'm not a Christian. So I'm very wary of this. He says we can achieve bigger wins. Who are we? You know, I want freedom to win. So I think Donald Trump's the answer right now. I think Donald Trump and the conservative side of America are more able to protect my rights, or at least have a modicum of interest in protecting freedom and rights. And if you come back and say, well, they're not fundamentally, philosophically, platonically perfect, okay, you know, who was? Who is? You know, during World War II, you say, fundamentally, philosophically, the United States isn't perfect. Well, are you going to fight and die to defend it or not? You're just going to let it fall. All right. So, I don't know. He says, I'm in favor of achieving bigger wins. So, you know, it depends. You know, we'd have to talk about what we mean by that. If we settle for speaking the common language of the people, see that okay, Brian's not speaking for me. He's just giving his view of me. Now, Brian, I have to say, holy moly. So, I don't know. All right, fine. You know, thank you. I appreciate your generous interpretation of my stance, Brian. Thank you. Now, is the right wing a big tent? I think I've made my case about that. Rucka says that we shouldn't waste our time because the left and the right wingers are both enemies. Exactly. Now that's like Platonic or rationalistic perfectionist thinking, right? In a Platonic floating way, in a way. This video is slowed down. I hope it's okay. In a Platonic and floating rationalistic way. You know, damn it, my video slowed down. I'm gonna, damn it.